Hey, what is up guys? My name is Gamer11 and welcome back to another movie review. A Quiet Place is written and directed by John Krasinski. I looked at the credits, there's like two other writers. I don't know their names. But I know John Krasinski is one of the three writers and the director and star of A Quiet Place, alongside his actual wife, Emily Blunt. I thought it was pretty cool that they collaborated on this and that they actually played a mother and father, something that they are in real life. Cool chemistry, I like it. The whole chemistry between the whole family was amazing. I'll tell you this right now, A Quiet Place was pretty good. It was pretty good. Now, on like horror movie standards, I think it's not up to par. Now, I see the reviews give like 90 to almost like 100% Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty up there. It's like when I think of that, like those good type of horror movies that are like in the 90%, 100% ratio, I think of like The Exorcist, really good movie, really fucking terrifying movie. Think of The Shining, really good movie. I never found it scary, but other people said that they found it scary. And I'm like, huh, that's really cool. It's really more of like psychological horror, and I like that. And even Halloween, honestly, I really enjoyed like the original John Carpenter Halloween. That was a really good horror movie, and kind of scared you. Big tall guys roaming around your neighborhood. That's what you should really be afraid of. But yeah, Quiet Place was pretty cool. It was original. It can fit right into the Cloverfield universe. I'll tell you that right now. If you don't know about the Cloverfield universe, I'm not gonna get into it. That's just some too deep, too long of a story. Too deep to get into that. I'm not even gonna do that. This could easily be set on the same Earth, same reality as the first Cloverfield movie. The event could happen in New York because I think in the movie, the event happened in 2008, and this movie is set in 2021, right? In 2020s. There's a good amount of time right there for Earth to end, for the human population to decrease in number, and for this big monster, Clovey, for this big monster to reproduce and spread other aliens, more smaller, tinier aliens, like we do see in the first Cloverfield movie. But these aliens are like evolved, you know, and they create like little different species because that's how long they've been producing on our Earth. So this could easily be fit into the Cloverfield universe. This could be decades later, you know, and these are the aliens that evolved from Cloverfield, the big Cloverfield monster. So that would be pretty cool that it's connected, but hearing the screenwriters talk about it being its own universe, I guess that just cancel out Cloverfield and it's a new universe within itself. I still think it's pretty cool. I love how they just left the clues in the background. Obviously you got to look at the background and try to figure out what happened and why everything is. I really like how they kept it limited. There's not a lot of places that are explored. It reminded me of Walking Dead, the comic book, and earlier seasons of the show when they were just walking in like rural areas with tall grass, and there was like a couple of buildings here and a couple of buildings there. There was a bridge right there. They weren't coming across a lot of things, and that's what it reminded me of when they were going to the grocery store in the beginning, then going over the bridge, and then they had the farmhouse. You know, I found that pretty cool how they kept it just limited. And then later on in the film, you realize that the farm is not too far away from where the beginning of the film took place. So you're like, huh, this is really all taking place in one little area, you know. And that was pretty cool how they worked with it, and how it felt like a bigger world, but it didn't bite too much. It didn't bite more than it could chew. Batman versus Superman. I really liked A Quiet Place. Was it scary? No, it wasn't scary. Only problem I have with A Quiet Place is that it has a lot of cheap jump scares. Like, I know Basically the sound was the thing for this movie. Sound editing, sound mixing was beautiful for this movie. It was amazing. But that left it open for a lot of cheap jump scares, and I don't like those in horror films. Maybe that's just a personal opinion. Maybe I don't know how you guys feel about jump scares in movies. Just like cheap jump scares, like dun, like, you know, like obviously it's sound editing, and they just like max that volume in editing. They just like cut that little part and just like crank that shit up to like where it's red, you know. It's like just goes into the red zone, and it's just like, oh, if it hurts your ears in the headphones, it's good for the theaters. But I do like that in horror films if it's done right. Now, movies that have done this right, Insidious, the first Insidious, watch the first Insidious, it's done right. One or two cheap jump scares, but majority of them are done right. I forgot. There was another movie in mind, but I forgot. But I know the first Insidious, it really got me. Conjuring, James Wan, actually, as a director, he's really good at jump scares and timing them right and stuff. That's so, that guy. But A Quiet Place, I did not like the cheap jump scares. I knew when the jump scares were coming. Like, that's how cheap they were. I was like, jump scare. Oh, there's gonna be one right here. Oh, that's a fake out jump scare. You know, like, I was kind of like feeling it, and but I'll tell you this, there was like I think two jump scares that actually kind of got me. I was like, oh, okay, you know, that shocked me. So that means, John Krasinski, you did your job at creating some scares. You got me twice, actually. But all the other jump scares I felt coming and I felt were predictable. But that doesn't taint the movie for me. As really good as a survival movie, as a post-apocalyptic movie, as a sci-fi movie, as a suspense movie, and as a thriller. Not as a horror movie, because I don't find this scary. Now, horror movies that are in like the remember the percentage, the ratios, 90 to 100, are like Exorcist and Shining. Those are movies that are like classics that are in that range. I personally don't feel like Quiet Place is in that range. It's a good movie, don't get me wrong, but it's not like classic. You know, it's not. I don't feel like it's gonna be a classic, but it will be one I wouldn't mind adding to this show. So, A Quiet Place, out of 10. I'll show you my ranking system right now. Out of 10, I give this movie a 7. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 is really good. I don't think this movie is like 90%, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's that good. But I think it's really good. It's enjoyable. Great suspense. Great use of sound. Yeah, it was the only thing I didn't like about it was the cheap jump scares, and I didn't really like how it was being advertised more as a horror film. Because to me, that's how I walked into it, as being a horror film. I wasn't really that terrified. Maybe it's just I'm not scared of aliens, but there was no really like creepy imagery that would like really haunt my mind at night and give me nightmares. You get what I'm saying? That's the best way I can explain it. 7 out of 10, and also I wanted to go back, but that's all my thoughts on A Quiet Place. Pretty good, cheap jump scares. Only flaw, I say go see this movie. Ending is pretty cool too, I'll tell you that. Ending, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I want to see that as a movie. But I will be re-rating all the movies I did, previous movie reviews. I'm going to go back one by one, not review them fully. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to re-rate them if possible, if needed, because doing this ranking system, I really want to stick to it, and seeing what I rated the ones in the past, I'm like, ooh, that's really inaccurate as to what I think now. I'm gonna change that. That was me starting out with movie reviews, so I'm gonna change those reviews, and that's gonna be probably the next video where I just sum everything up, sum all my ratings, and I don't know, just to be organized, I guess, and update it. You know, that's gonna be the next video. A Quiet Place, go see it if you haven't seen it. I recommend it. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, do whatever. I don't care. For video games, I got a recommendation to play Fortnite. I might just shit on it the whole time I play it. But Fortnite gameplay coming soon. See you guys in the next one.